Day spoilers for next. DiMera embarks on a fierce quest for vengeance against her brother, E.J. DiMera. Longtime viewers know that the DiMera family is no stranger to deep-seated feuds. But this time, the stakes are intensely personal and dangerously high. The catalyst behind Kristen's fury is E.J.'s disturbing betrayal involving their mother, Rachel Blake, known ominously around Salem as the Woman in White. Kristen, renowned for her cunning and determination, has uncovered just enough to know E.J. has committed a grievous act. But what exactly happened remains shrouded in mystery. E.J. continues to vehemently deny any wrongdoing, maintaining a facade of innocence that Kristen is desperate to unravel. Recent episodes have revealed unsettling hints about E.J.'s sinister attempt to silence Rachel Blake. Unwilling to face legal consequences for his actions, E.J. had resorted to an extreme measure, attempting to erase his own mother's memories, thereby ensuring she could never testify against him. In a shocking twist, E.J. went so far as to try injecting Rachel with powerful drugs to induce permanent memory loss. However, Rachel Blake, possessing the DiMera family's trademark resilience and intelligence, managed to outsmart her son at the last minute, narrowly escaping his malicious plot. But her victory was short-lived. Soon after, Rachel vanished without a trace, leaving Salem in turmoil. Kristen, devastated and outraged by her mother's disappearance, is convinced E.J. holds all the answers. Her suspicions only deepen each time E.J. refuses to answer her probing questions. Convinced that justice is not moving swiftly enough, Kristen has decided to take matters into her own hands. In an explosive confrontation last week, Kristen confronted E.J. at the DiMera mansion, gun in hand, ready to force the truth out of her brother at all costs. The dramatic scene unfolded as Kristen, voice trembling with rage and sorrow, accused E.J. of betrayal and demanded answers. E.J., though caught off guard, maintained his deceptive calmness, claiming innocence and expressing hurt at her accusations. But Kristen, who knows E.J.'s capacity for manipulation better than anyone else, was unmoved. As the scene escalated, viewers held their breaths when Kristen pulled the trigger only to find the gun unloaded. E.J.'s shock turned swiftly into a chilling, knowing smirk, infuriating Kristen further. But the message was clear: Kristen is prepared to go to any lengths to expose E.J.'s crimes. Days of Our Lives spoilers for the coming weeks indicate Kristen's vendetta will escalate even further. But Kristen is not E.J.'s only enemy in Salem. His ruthless behavior has alienated almost everyone around him, leaving him vulnerable to attack from multiple fronts. Characters from E.J.'s past, including allies he once trusted implicitly, are reconsidering their loyalty as they learn about his potential involvement in Rachel Blake's disappearance. Furthermore, Kristen will find unexpected allies in her crusade against her brother. Salem residents, many of whom have suffered under E.J.'s manipulations, may secretly support Kristen's cause or even offer covert assistance. Meanwhile, the Salem Police Department, alerted by Kristen's desperate accusations, is intensifying its investigation into Rachel Blake's mysterious disappearance, inching ever closer to uncovering the unsettling truth. As viewers continue to wonder about Rachel's fate, one pressing question remains: how far will Kristen go to achieve justice? Her quest for revenge could lead to drastic, irreversible consequences, potentially tearing the DiMera family apart forever. And while E.J. may believe himself invincible, Kristen's determination may finally be his undoing. Ultimately, Kristen DiMera's passionate vow for revenge is about more than personal vengeance. It's about unveiling the hidden truths that lie within the dark heart of the DiMera family legacy. Will Kristen succeed in bringing E.J. to justice, or will her relentless pursuit consume her in the process? Fans of Days of Our Lives, prepare yourselves. The battle within Salem's most infamous family is just beginning, and the fallout promises to be unforgettable. Next, Gabby Hernandez had always been known for her fiery spirit and strong opinions. Her fierce independence and tough exterior made people think twice before crossing her path. But those who truly knew her, like her beloved cousin Javi, understood there was another side to Gabby, a gentler side filled with compassion and warmth that she rarely showed to the world. Recently, Javi had found himself in love, and he was so overjoyed it seemed as though he practically glowed. However, Gabby felt a tinge of worry clouding her happiness for her cousin. Javi's heart had been captured by none other than Leo Stark, a man who had stirred plenty of controversy and whispers among those who knew him in Salem. Gabby couldn't help but feel protective. After all, she had heard plenty about Leo's reputation for trouble. Yet Javi, always optimistic and open-hearted, gently reminded Gabby of something important. He pointed out that many things people said about Leo could easily be applied to her as well. She too was often misunderstood and judged by her past mistakes rather than her true heart. Javi's earnest words struck a chord in Gabby, and she knew deep down he had a point. With a playful nudge, Javi reminded her of the times she'd secretly cried while watching holiday movies and her irresistible urge to rescue every sad-eyed puppy that crossed her path. "I know you're not about to join the Leo Stark fan club," Javi teased gently, his eyes sparkling with hope. "But maybe, just maybe, you could give him a chance for me? Especially since he says he genuinely loves me." With an exaggerated sigh and a reluctant but affectionate smile, Gabby finally conceded, promising she'd try. After all, family meant the world to her, and seeing Javi happy mattered more than her personal reservations. Later that day, Gabby and Javi awaited Leo's arrival with cautious anticipation. However, the moment Leo entered, things did not exactly start off on the right foot. Leo's nerves had gotten the better of him, leading him to set up an extravagant romantic scene in the Hernandez kitchen and dining area without anyone's permission. His intentions might have been good, but the execution fell disastrously short. When Gabby saw the elaborate setup, complete with flowers, candles, and an overly extravagant charm, her patience quickly wore thin. Her gaze was sharp, her tone sharper still. Words flew swiftly between Leo and Gabby, each syllable edging closer to hostility than hospitality. "What were you thinking, Leo?" Gabby demanded. "This is exactly the kind of stunt that makes it hard for me to trust you." Leo, usually quick with a clever comeback, found himself momentarily flustered, realizing he had gone too far. He threw his hands up defensively, admitting, "You're right, Gabby. You're absolutely right. I'm sorry. I'll never pull a stunt like this again. I promise. I never want either of you to look at me like you're doing right now." The tense silence that followed was mercifully interrupted by the ringing of Gabby's phone. Relieved to break away from the awkwardness, she answered swiftly. On the other end was JJ Devereaux, warmly inviting her to meet him for dinner at the bistro. Grateful for the escape, she accepted the invitation quickly and grabbed her coat. As Gabby departed, Leo stood sheepishly, his eyes full of genuine regret as he turned to Javi. His voice softened, losing its usual bravado, and he admitted quietly, "You know, when I'm nervous or insecure, I try to cover it up with humor and wit. Sometimes it works, but clearly not this time." Javi's expression softened, appreciating Leo's vulnerability. He reached out, gently taking Leo's hand. "Yeah, definitely not your best moment," Javi agreed, his voice tender rather than critical. Then, with a dreamy expression reserved only for those deeply in love, Javi murmured hopefully, "But someday, Leo, someday the two people I love most in the world, you and Gabby, will finally understand each other. I truly believe it." Leo smiled, comforted by Javi's unwavering faith. He knew it wouldn't be easy, especially considering Gabby's fiercely protective nature. Yet, seeing Javi's optimism filled Leo with renewed determination. Perhaps with patience, sincerity, and a little less flair, he could win Gabby's trust and acceptance after all. Across town at the bistro, Gabby sat quietly with JJ, her mind still lingering on the afternoon's tension. But as JJ shared stories and laughter, Gabby felt herself relax, reminded again of the importance of openness and understanding. Maybe, just maybe, Leo could surprise her. After all, she reminded herself gently, people had given her second chances before. Perhaps it was time for her to pay it forward.